Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. We're launching a new series that compares phones outside their camera and speed. We will talk about other things like build quality, screen, storage, operating system, and much more. Today we're talking about the two popular budget phones from OnePlus. OnePlus is known to create flagship killers, but for the last 2 years, they're slowly penetrating the budget segment. This is OnePlus N100 versus OnePlus N10 5G after 1 year. Who aged better and which is a better buy? Hey, don't forget to subscribe, my friend. Let's go! Let's start with the build quality. OnePlus Nord N100 has a Gorilla Glass 3 screen and a plastic back, while OnePlus Nord N10 5G also has the same parts. They actually looks the same in terms of design and build quality, so if you own this or you're buying it today, if both were taken care of with the case, then these two phones could still be in perfect condition. But if both were used without a case, then the back panel could have some imperfection and scratches. Both should age well in terms of build. It's a tie for me. Next is the screen. OnePlus Nord N100 has a 720p IPS LCD panel with 90Hz refresh rate, while OnePlus Nord N10 5G has a Full HD 1080 panel, which is also an IPS LCD with 90Hz refresh rate. Both has the same peak brightness, 440 nits for the N10 5G, while N100 is a little brighter at 456 nits. The screen of OnePlus N10 5G is a little sharper because of the 406 ppi versus the 269 ppi of OnePlus Nord N100. I also noticed that the colors on N100 is a little washed out and you would notice pixelation, so OnePlus Nord N10 5G is the winner here. Next is the speed, and none of them will blow you away. They have mediocre processors. If you're not a heavy user, then you will benefit from this, as both phones can run light to medium apps smoothly. OnePlus Nord N10 is running the Snapdragon 460, which is 11nm, while OnePlus Nord N10 5G is a better performing mid-range chipset, an 8nm Snapdragon 690. One thing that we also need to talk about is the RAM. OnePlus Nord N10 5G is 6GB, while OnePlus Nord N100 only has 4GB. OnePlus Nord N10 5G will run faster and smoother compared to OnePlus Nord N100. You will feel a little stuttering when you're using the N100. I think the Snapdragon 460 is a little outdated compared to Snapdragon 690, which is also 5G ready. So in terms of speed, OnePlus Nord N10 5G is hands down the winner here. Next is storage, and both phones will offer enough space for non-demanding users. OnePlus Nord N100 has 64GB of storage on UFS 2.1, while OnePlus Nord N10 5G offers twice the size of N100 at 128GB. It is also on UFS 2.1. Both phones can also be expanded through card slot, so you won't have shortage of available space. I just think the 128GB of N10 5G is somehow a standard in 2021. It is more future-proof, so OnePlus N10 5G is the winner here. Next is the operating system. Both phones are running on Oxygen 10, which is based on Android 10 when they were first released, and now they're running on Android 11 after 1 year. OnePlus promised one major updates for these two phones, so sadly you might not get Android 12. But there are other developers who ports Android 12 on both of these phones. The XDA developer website can be your friend. Next is camera modules and performance. There's a bit of a difference between the two, and aside from the processor, this might be another differentiating factor. OnePlus Nord N100 has a triple camera setup of 13MP main, 2MP macro, and 2MP depth, while OnePlus Nord N10 5G is a quad camera setup of 64MP main, 8MP ultra-wide, 2MP macro, and 2MP depth. I think both macro and the depth sensor are the same. The difference are on the main sensor. OnePlus N10 5G is a better performing camera on our day-to-day test than OnePlus N100. It also has a bigger resolution for better details. This phone also has another useful sensor, which is the ultra-wide lens that is pretty good for tight situations. All in all, OnePlus Nord N10 5G will have a better performing camera than OnePlus Nord N100, so N10 5G is the winner here. Next is battery or battery life. So there's a little difference between the two. OnePlus Nord N100 has a bigger battery at 5000 mAh, and the 720 panel helps in saving some juice since it doesn't need a lot of power to light up the screen. The only setback is the bigger 11nm processor, which isn't the best in terms of battery efficiency. While OnePlus Nord N10 5G only has 4300 mAh, although smaller but still big in today's standard. What's good about this phone is the battery-efficient Snapdragon 690 and a fast charger at 30 watts. For me, as I use both phones, OnePlus Nord N10 5G is actually better, not longer but better in a day-to-day use, as it can last you 2 days of moderate usage and the fast charger can juice it up really quick. OnePlus Nord N100 only has a regular 18 watts fast charging, so longer charging time. OnePlus Nord N10 5G is the winner here. And lastly, the price after 1 year. So the cheaper N100 will probably be around $100, while OnePlus N10 5G is less than $200 used. Brand new, I'd say N100 is around $250, while N10 5G is $350. So what is Gadget Rev Now's verdict? OnePlus N100 or OnePlus N10 5G? Both of these budget phones definitely has a weak and strong point, but in terms of value, these are two great phones. I will recommend OnePlus N100 for people who just need a phone mainly for call and text or just need a secondary phone. This is pretty decent for its price. And I will recommend OnePlus N10 5G to those who need the faster connectivity, as it has 5G, better performing phone that you can play average to heavy games, and needed a bigger storage and better performing camera. OnePlus N10 5G is a decent mid-range phone, although a little bit outdated now, but still very capable. These two phones are still great after 1 year, but I think Snapdragon 690 of OnePlus N10 5G is aging better and future-proof compared to the entry-level Snapdragon 460 of N100. These two phones are still a great buy in 2021, not the fanciest, but will serve a great purpose for casual and average users. I will compare these two phones to the newer OnePlus phone this year and other phones, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.